Go.
So I want to thank all you guys for coming tonight. I really wanted to do this before we went to boot camp. We signed up for this before because I think it's important that everybody who has a Cincy business understands how this thing works, how you make money doing it, how you move up, and then once you move up, how you stay successful with it. So we're going to start off. I'm Daniel, and this is my beautiful wife, Amanda, and we are directors of Team Be Bold. We have been doing Cincy for a little over 4 years. We've been doing it seriously since November of last year. Now, I think it's important that all of you know our numbers in November. Team-wise, we had one front line. I'm sorry, October numbers. We had one front line, and that one front line had 8 downline. And her rank was, or her title was, she hit Star Consultant in October. Okay, so we had a baby team just a few months ago, and we still have a baby team, but we've grown quite a bit. So I want to basically tell you why we're here. We have a goal with Cincy. Amanda works full-time job, and she wants to be able to spend more time at home with our kids and hopefully with me. And so our goal is to try to replace her income from her full-time job, and we'll see where God leads us down that road. So that is who we are. That's why we're here, and you now know what our goal is. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys tonight is knowing what you need to get paid at title. We were at boot camp, and one of the things that kept coming up over and over and over again was people, they're like, paid at title, what's that? So if you're a lead or above, you need to know what it requires to get paid at title. So we have several different types of pays that you get, and I don't really want to get into all that tonight. I mean, the first one that we all know is you get a portion of your PRV, and if you're leading above, you're 25. If you're certified or above, you're 25%. If you sell over $2,000 a month, you get paid at 30%. Okay, that's just straight. If that's all that your goal with Cincy is, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. We have multiple people on our team. Their goal is to make a couple $100 a month, put a little spend of money in their pocket, and we are A-okay with that. We are available to help them do that every single month. We have people who have no ambition of getting a teammate, growing a team, leading anything, participating in anything outside of making a couple $100 a month. Absolutely fine. We all need those folks. Lead, you need 500 PRV a month, minimum. You need a group wholesale value of 1,000. You need one active front line, and it is recommended to get paid at title. In order to hit those numbers every single month, you need to have a team of 3 to 5. So if you are a lead and you want to know what your sweet number is, and me and Cassie talked about these numbers earlier today, if you're a lead wanting to get paid at title every month, 3 to 5 is where you need to be. Now realize you're pulling half of that GWV goal by yourself. So having 3 to 5 people on your team, including yourself, that gives you 4 other people to make up that $500 that you need to get paid at title. Star Consultants, 500 PRV. I'm sorry. No, you need 500 PRV. You need 2,500 GWV. You need 2 active frontline, and your sweet spot as far as team numbers, the amount of teammates you have is going to be 8 to 12 to consistently get paid at title. So if you're a Star Consultant and you're having problems getting paid at title, that's where you need to be, is a team of 8 to 12 people. and me and Cassie talked about this, as these numbers get larger and larger, you know, teams are the dynamics are so different. Some people have teams of people who just want to make, you know, a $200 order every 3 months, and that's fine. That's what they signed up to do. It's their business. If that's how they want to do it, then that's their business. So if you have a team of 40 people and their goal is to go active once every 3 months, you're going to need more people. Does that make sense? So you got to know your people. Superstar consultants, 500 PRV, GWV of 6,000. You need 3 active frontline, and your recommended suite number for a team is 12 to 40. All right, so a lot of you guys are probably saying, look, I'm getting paid at title and my team's not near 40. This is just a recommended suite number. This is where you need to be. If you've got a bunch of rock stars on your team and every month they're out just hustling, selling 1,000, 2,000 PRV, that's great. But in order to sustain this long term, you need to be aiming for 12 to 40. Directors, that's 500 PRV, a GWV of 10,000, active frontline of 3, and the recommended sweet spot of team member numbers is 40 to 60. That is a good guideline. If you fall in that area anywhere, that is a good guideline that you can follow or aim for or set a goal for in order to get paid at title every month. Well, I'm not going to skip ahead. It's important that you know what you need to get to where you want to be, okay? For example, myself and Amanda, our goal is superstar director. We know what we need in order to get there. So right now, we are working our business, we're investing in our people, and we are consistently seeking new people outside of our circle to join our team. Because in order to make star director for us, we need to be sitting somewhere in the realm of 60 to 130 people. That's a lot of folks. So we've got a lot of work to do. But you've got to know what you need in order to know, or in order to get to where you want to be. My hope is that everyone on this call tonight has a goal of becoming a director with Cincy. That's my hope for you guys. And I want to tell you that it's easy. I don't want to say it's easy to do. You got to work for it, but it's definitely an attainable goal for everybody on here tonight. The worst thing that I have seen and heard, and we were at boot camp with 59 other directors, is don't find yourself where you want to be. For example, if you want to be a director, don't find yourself as a director but unable to sustain it. In other words, when I say unable to sustain it, it means not getting paid at title, because you're putting in the time and you're doing the work, but you're not making the money. You're not seeing the money coming in. And one thing I love about Cincy is a lot of other direct sale companies, once you hit a title, you're there. Whether you're just bare minimum or whether you're all out. With Cincy, you can actually lose your title. So if you get to director and you go a certain amount of time without meeting your numbers, they'll take it away from you. You lose it. So don't find yourself where you want to be and not able to sustain it. That was really my whole point that I wanted to talk to you guys tonight, is you guys are out there and you're working your businesses, and we all do it differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to do it, know what you need. Those numbers that I just read out to you, if you're a lead, you now know what you need to be aiming for. If you're a star, if you're a superstar, if you're a director, you now know where you need the recommended places for you to be. It's important that you know your team. So our team, we have 51 people on our team as of today. We have some people on our team who use Cincy to pay their bills. I like that because I can consistently depend on that person to produce a certain amount of my GWV every month. And by the way, I'm going to talk here about me for a minute when I talk about my numbers, because I'm going to show you my numbers here in a minute so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Me and Amanda have a goal every month. It's been to sell 2,000 PRV, to get our 10,000 GWV, and to add 2 recruits. That is our goal every month. So when I look at my team, I need my team to be able to make my goals. However, I have to know them. Some of you guys may have heard the term hobbyist, or hobbyist is a good one. By the way, we all need a bunch of hobbyists. Those are the people who are going to place their $200 order every 3 months. We need those. And if we know who they are, we can be there for them when they need us, but we can also plan for that $200 on the 3rd month when they're about to go inactive. Okay. Or if they're one of those people that slap it in that first month, whatever, we can plan for that 200 GWV. If I have somebody who needs to make 2,000 PRV a month to pay their bills, I can count on that GWV every month. I like to watch the numbers, and Amanda has learned from Cassie how important it is to track her numbers daily. Not only do we track those numbers, but we track who those numbers are coming from. And we don't have like a big database or an Excel spreadsheet or anything, but we're like, oh, look at what so-and-so did today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. All right. But by watching our historical data, and that's just month after month after month, we can see who is consistent, who is not consistent. And when we're looking at going into a new month, we can kind of depend on, all right, so we know for sure we've got 7,000 this month. So we've got to get 3,000. And so knowing that I need that 3,000 can affect the way that I lead my team or the way I encourage my team. Some of you guys know I'm not a big incentive person. I don't like giving stuff away, but I can issue out challenges and do different things for my team to help encourage that extra 3,000 PRV that I know we're going to need to hit our 10,000 GWV. So you have to know your team. Now listen very carefully to me. You don't have to babysit your team. You don't have to do their work for them. It is their business. If they want to work it, they're going to work it. If they don't want to work it, they're not going to work it. So this is something that we took away from boot camp. Don't waste all your time with people who are giving you nothing. Invest your time in the people who are working their businesses. That is, man, if you're going to write down anything tonight, that's what you should write down. If you've got somebody and they are not working their business, by all means, reach out to them once. Offer to help them. Find out what's going on in their lives, because something tragic may have happened and they may need some help. But if they're ignoring your phone calls and they're ignoring your messages, don't invest any more of your time in them. Go find that person who is freaking killing it. Encourage them. Find out what you can do to help them do even better. Okay? By the way, don't get, Cassie put some stuff out on this in the last few days. Don't compare yourself to others either. Okay? Again, it's important that we all realize that this Cincy business is our Cincy business. Right? Where's Steven at? Steven, that's your business, right? That's right. All right. So Steven is going to work the business the way Steven wants to work the business. Daniel and Amanda are going to work the business the way we want to work the business. It is so important that you do not compare yourself to others, because we all come from different ways of doing things. We all come from different backgrounds, and we all have different goals. Okay. We also are all in different areas with different things going on. So work your business. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't get discouraged by the fact that somebody is having success over here and you're not. Don't even get into that mind game. It's a poison. Know your team. Know who to invest in and who not to. And it's important for you to know what their plans are, what their goals are. That's one of the first questions we ask every team member we have as soon as they join. And we ask that of our front line and of our down line. Why are you doing this? That is so crucial for me and Amanda to know. we had somebody that joined, and I'm about to have somebody that's going to join because every 3 months or 4 months, she's struggling to find a Cincy consultant to meet her needs. I happened to meet her today. The reason I met her is I pulled up at my kid's school. She had one of those little green trees hanging in her Tahoe, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And I started talking to her, and I gave her a catalog, and I gave her a business card, and she happened to see the join for $99. Okay, and she's like, that's it? I was like, yeah. She's like, and I can order my own stuff? I was like, yes. So I already know, but I'm going to ask her again once she does join, what is her goal with Cincy? What are you hoping to get out of Cincy? If she literally just wants to order her stuff, put in one active order once every 3 months, I'm all about it, and I know. Yeah, Shannon Evans had one join like that. By the way, you never know when that person who just wants to order once every 3 months is going to see Cincy as the opportunity that it is. Life is going to change. Can you hear me? Okay. You never know when something in their life is going to change, and they're going to go from a $34 paycheck every month to a $2,000 paycheck every month. You just never know. So you got to know what their goals are, and you got to know why they're doing it. I'm going to use Shannon Evans. She's on here for an example. Shannon uses this business to pay her bills. I know that. So anytime I come across an opportunity that I can share with her, now I'm not saying I'm giving her my opportunities, but if I identify an area where there's a need for Cincy and she has a like area or event or something in where she lives, I'm going to share it with her because I know she needs that money to pay her bills. That's how she takes care of her kids. I'm going to encourage her if it's the 15th of the month and she's not kicking towards 1,000 PRV because I know every single month she uses that money. So because I know my team, I know how to communicate with them. I don't waste their time. I don't waste my time. And any opportunity we come across that can help that individual teammate meet their goal, we're going to make them aware of it and share it with them. If you know your team members' plans, if you know their goals, you can develop your own plan. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Again, at the root of all this is mine and Amanda's goals, okay? Hey, we're here to invest in people and help people. We want to see people succeed. We want to see people make money and have a good time doing it. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, are me and Amanda meeting our goals, okay? And we're business. That's the way it is. Now, we're lucky that we're in a special business where the relationships are amazing, our products are amazing, the people are just great. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, are we meeting our goals? Because I can invest 23 hours a day in somebody 30 days a month, but if I'm not meeting my goals, what am I doing? So remember that if you know your team's plans and you know their goals, you can help, that helps you develop your plans and your goals. The sweet number. You guys heard me talking about that when I read all of those PRV, GWVs, active team members, and then your sweet number. All right, the sweet number is different from everybody. Like I said, we met directors that had a team of 10,000 GWV off of 8 folks. Can you imagine how much work those folks put in every month? And by the way, it wasn't sustainable for them. They've done it a few months, missed a few months, missed a few more months, hit it one more month. Those just weren't sustainable numbers there. We also met a director from Canada who had 42 team members. And she is in the DQ. And basically what that means is she is in danger of losing her director title next month. Her average GWV off of a team of 43 was 3,200. 3,200. She's barely hitting star consultant numbers. So she's putting in all this time, encouraging, demanding, doing everything she can think of to do, and her numbers are technically there. She should be safe, but there's something with her team. I don't know if she has 40 people that order once every 3 months and they just don't all get together on the same month. I don't know what she's got going on there. but realize that sweet number for her is obviously going to be more than 43 people. So as you are developing your plans and your goals, look at the team that you're building and don't be afraid to adjust that number. You know, if you've got 10 people on your team and they're selling 1,500 every month consistently, hey, that's great. First of all, you still need to keep building your team because they're steps past director, but that's your sweet number. You know, if you've got a big mixture of folks, which is what I like about our team, is we've got a big mixture of people. It just makes hitting that 10,000 easier every single month. So learn what your sweet spot is. Learn what that sweet number is to hit your next goal. If you're sitting at lead, look at your team. Go back month by month and look at the numbers. Write it down. That way, maybe you can start to see a trend as far as who's consistent, who's not. You can identify who is that person that's purchasing for themselves or maybe their family. You can find that person who's paying their bills with it. And then look at consistency through that and then say, okay, I need 3 more people to be able to move up to the next step and make more money. So find out what your sweet number is. You've got to do that for your next step. So I see this a lot, and the directors, I've seen a lot of talk with the directors on this. When should you start building your team? We've had some folks that joined our team and actually had a team member join before they ever placed a single order. That's freaking awesome. Okay. That's awesome because they've got a sponsor who is going to invest in them and in their team member. I hope all of us do here. However, it's different for everybody. You know, some people need the confidence of knowing every single thing about everything before they're willing to bring somebody on underneath them and lead them. So I want to tell you what the danger of starting too late is, because I don't know what the answer of how soon to start. I know what Cassie would say: as soon as they freaking pay with that card, get them on your team, right? By the way, that's what I would tell my team as well. This is the danger of waiting too long to build your team. If you are sitting at start, lead, star, something like that, and you just happen to have this amazing month, whether it's a fundraiser, whether, man, you had an event that just went crazy, and you happen to hit the numbers you need for director, but you've only got 4 people on your team, you're in bad shape. All right, because while it's awesome that you just got promoted to director, there is absolutely no way in the world you are going to be able to sustain the numbers monthly that you need to get paid every month. Okay, and you can beat your team members to death. You can encourage them. You can offer every one of them free Cincy Goes every week, but you're not going to hit your numbers. So be aware of that. If you watch that GWV starting, to creep up on you, or if you have a team member who joins and, hey, they're going to go all out on events or fundraisers or something like that, you need to be aware of what could happen to you. So the danger of not building your team early enough is, first and foremost, getting a title, superstar consultant, star consultant, but not getting paid at title. And by the way, you're going to get paid off of your PRV. I want all you guys to understand that. Every month, you're going to get paid off of your PRV, your personal PRV. But to have that team out there that does, let me flip back to let me use superstar consultant numbers. Let's say you have a team of 5. And your GWV at the last day of the month is 5,736. You left a lot of money on the table, okay? Because you did not reach the minimum threshold to get paid at title. And to me, that's a disaster. Yes, if you're a superstar consultant and you end the month at 5,736 GWV, you will not get paid at title. You will get paid on your PRV. And that is absolutely a disaster in my book. Go ahead, Cassie.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm having to deal with kids. They're getting spanking, so I may have just misunderstood you. But if you're a superstar consultant and you don't hit superstar consultant numbers, but you hit star numbers, you will get paid at rank. But be mindful that if you have a downline, a downline that is star and you get paid as star, you won't get paid on them. Does that make sense? So you get paid at your rank, not your title. And you may have said that and I misunderstood you.
We didn't say that.
I think I used the wrong terminology, but thank you. Thank you.
No, it's confusing. Guys, as you look at the compensation plan, looking at title and rank and monthly, it gets really confusing. Go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
Can you hear me? Okay. So again, you're leaving money on the table. And that's another important thing that Cassie just said. If you don't meet your qualifications to get paid at your rank, for example, the example I was using, superstar consultant, and you drop to star consultant, but you have a star consultant who has 3 members on their team, you know, that's a bad place to be. So another thing is, as you move forward in Cincy, again, as a lead, as a star consultant, and as a superstar consultant, you don't have to worry about losing your title. But once you move above that, you have to meet the minimum qualifications in order to retain your title. Is that right? Rank or title? It's title. Director. Okay. So it's so important for you to realize, first of all, for you to know what your goals are. If your goal is to be a director, you need to start now. Okay, you need to start building your team. That way you can make those numbers every single month. If your goal is not to be a leader or a director, you know, you're still, as a lead, a star consultant or a superstar consultant, you still have people in your downline. So you have responsibility there to them. So did you have something to add, Cassie? No? Okay, I've got 2 more things left, and I need y'all to pay attention to these really, really carefully. The dangers of not building your team early enough is stress, worry, and there is more stress and worry going around in the Cincy world than there needs to be, okay? What stress and worry will lead to is, first of all, it makes your life tough, and it makes your family's life tough. But it will also lead to ruined relationships, okay? One thing I love about Cincy is the relationships that we get to build. I'm looking at a bunch of people on this screen, and I only know a few of you. But I know that in the future, I'm going to get to meet all of you, and I look forward to that, and I look forward to the relationships that we're all going to have. I look forward to the relationship that I've built with Michael, who I never would have done had it not been for Cincy. So stress and worry will kill our business. So if you find yourself heading towards that situation with unsustainable numbers because you don't have the team to support that, you're getting into dangerous territory. And so if you find yourself stressing and worrying and ruining relationships, the next and final step of not, you know, the consequences of not building your team early enough is burnout. And we all know what that is, right? That's where you just finally get to the point that you turn your phone off, you shut your computer down, you throw everything down, you say, I quit. I'm done. Okay. And unfortunately, you know, that happens with Cincy. It happens in every career field out there in the world. But if you know how to avoid this, you won't ever have to deal with it. Okay. So since I talked about all those things, the dangers of not building your team early enough, I want to tell you some of the benefits of building your team. Yes. Okay. So the first thing is teamwork. I mean, we are a team-based business that does parties. That's what we do. Some of the things that are amazing, especially when you're early, when you're that certified consultant, that lead consultant, when you're first really just starting to build your team, there's almost some magic to it. I like watching it. We've gotten to watch Richard and Shannon Sis build their teams, and a few of the others build their teams. So there's almost like some excitement and magic to it. The first thing that comes out of you building your team is encouragement. First of all, it gives you the opportunity to encourage other people, but it also gives other people the opportunity to encourage you. And you have a reason to do it. So it's not like a weird thing where you're walking down the street and you don't know somebody and you're just like, hey, man, keep it up. Well, that's kind of weird. No, you're going to know these people, and you get to encourage one another. The second thing is ideas. So this is another great, wonderful thing I love about new consultants into Cincy, because they're coming in with a fresh perspective. They don't have their blinders on. They haven't watched 500,000 YouTube videos on how to be successful. They see a great product that they're excited about selling, and they also still see the opportunities out there to do it. So if you're one of those folks that you've been pounding this thing for years and you've got your blinders on, by the way, those go on and you don't even realize it, and you have this new person come in and they're like, oh, what about selling those goes to the guys with the fancy cars with all the lights underneath it, and they can make their consoles glow inside? Hey, that's a freaking great idea. Yeah, that's my Texas accent there. So, that's something I would have never thought of. But somebody like Michael comes in, and it's like one of the first ideas he has cracking. It's like, okay, I need to make sure that I am representing Cincy at every car show, car club that's around. Did I close that? So, those fresh ideas that you can share with one another and help each other be successful. Again, I already mentioned the relationships, but when you're bringing fresh blood into your team, the excitement of getting to meet somebody new, to build a new relationship, to contribute into their life and let them contribute into your life. There's just, like I said, there's just something magic about that. If you're a leader, listen to this. The bigger your team gets, the less work there is for all. Okay? And what I mean by that is, as a director, me and Amanda, we have to hit 10,000 GWV per month in order to get paid at title. If I have 100 people and they all sell $200, we make our 10,000 GWV. But if I have 8 people and they're each having to pound out $800, $850 a piece, now work has just gotten a lot harder. So as a leader, the more people you have join your team, the easier it is for you to make your goals. That means less stress, less worry, less work, more time on the couch watching Gold Rush and all those things No, it doesn't mean I have to sell 200. I got to sell 500. At least. So, basically what my point is there, instead of beating the 8 dead horses you have to freaking overachieve every month so you can get paid at title, the workload gets spread around. When you can spread around the workload, you don't stress, you don't worry. Real quick, I want to share my home screen with you guys. And this is our home screen. That is actually today.
It's not there yet, just so you know.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay, sorry.
So I want to show you this because from what I've been hearing across the world, essentially,
can y'all see it?
This is a pretty slow month. Like some folks are killing it, but others are really struggling and whatnot.
I don't know if we can see it.
Can y'all see this?
Yes,
Okay. So it's what, the 16th? It's the 16th of April. Myself and Amanda have been out of town for a week. I was really worried about being out of town because I got goals to make, right? However, our team, if you look over on the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see, of course, you're going to see the green lines. By the way, pay attention. I know my screen looks different than some of y'all's, but pay attention to your green lines. At the end of the month, I want all of mine to be filled except for that bottom one. That's about a quarter of the way filled. That gold GWV, I don't want that filled yet because I can't sustain it. Okay? So I know
Now,
what
you want that filled. You just don't want those blue man filled yet. That's what you want.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm getting there.
Okay, so team, fill it up. I'm just kidding.
So while we were at boot camp, it was amazing the amount of directors who had people calling them or texting them wanting to know where they were at on their PRV for the month. All right. If you don't know where your PRV is for the month, it is that top thing. And I know you can't see me point my finger at it. Where it says gold PRV, that's you. Okay. The TWB doesn't matter for any of us on here right now, except for Cassie and maybe Sabrina. I don't know who else is on here. Lorna, maybe. Yeah. So that'll matter once you get another director underneath you. We pay attention to these numbers. First of all, it's very simple. You can put a shortcut on your cell phone. So you just hit that button, man, you can put remember me and it goes right in. I probably hit mine about 20 to 30 times a day. I don't know how many times Amanda does it, but somebody's circling on there. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you. So, and then our GWV is on here as well. So our goal is 10,000 a month. You can see on the 16th of the month, we're sitting at 5,682. We're in great shape rolling so far into this month. I also want to point out a couple of other things. Our active frontline, the little blue men, I need 3 of those. So if you're a lead or a star or a superstar consultant and you're trying to get paid at title, your little blue men need to be filled up, however many you need. In order for, let me click back down. New recruits, your group size, all that. Pay attention to that. Because one day you might log on there and there'll be one more than you didn't even know about. So those are always nice little surprises. Right here in the middle of the page, you see training registration. By the way, this is here for you. You have training available no matter what your screen looks like. There is training available on your workstation. A lot of these are videos. They have been recorded. Up at the top of your screen, if you scroll all the way up, you'll see Training Center. Take advantage of that stuff. It's there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, every now and then they'll shut it down to update. But other than that time, take advantage of those trainings. That is very valuable stuff. Folks are getting paid, dedicating their time and their energy into making you better. Take advantage of those trainings. Pay attention to the calls and the Zoom calls and the videos. All right, can we get off of here? No, I'm almost there. So the last thing that is a benefit of building your team is, to me, what really matters, and that's a sustainable business. I told you what our goal is. Our goal is to replace Amanda's full-time income. Okay, that way she can dedicate more time to Cincy, to family, to doing the things that we want to do, like living life. So without a team, I can't do this. Amanda can't do this. We're not going to reach our goals. So the last thing as a benefit that I wrote down is building your team will lead you to a sustainable business. When your business is sustainable, you will enjoy Cincy more than you can even imagine. Okay. Can y'all see the napkin on the screen? Okay. I'm about to share a napkin with you guys. And I had lunch with Orville on Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday. And we were just sitting down in the kitchen at Cincy. That's their their cafeteria area. They call it the kitchen because that kitchen's where family gathers. I kind of like that. And we sat down there and had lunch, and we talked about several different things. You ready? And he drew this out for me. And I want to share it for you guys because this really, really helped me with where me and Amanda are at with our business.
Give me a thumbs up.
Can y'all see the sideways napkin?
I'm sorry, I can't turn it.
Okay.
Turn your head.
Yeah, so turn your heads. If you have the ability to screenshot this, I would recommend you screenshot it. So basically what Orville told me was Cincy is a 3-tier business, okay? And I'll get to that in a minute. But one of the things that he described to me, he said when we looked at setting up Cincy, we looked at a lot of the other direct sales companies. He said, do you have that napkin? Oh, yes. I didn't. Look, my wife is so amazing.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I can. Oh, sorry. Okay, there's the first one.
No, that's
Yeah, that's how other companies are set up.
yeah, that's not what I was looking for. You can take it back.
Never mind.
Anyways, he was talking about how when you come into some companies that they tell you that they want you to look a certain way, they want you to talk a certain way, and they want you to present their product in a certain way. He said they didn't like that because that took away the individuality and the authenticity of Cincy. And I have found that to be true. If you go to Reunion or World Tour, you're going to see folks from all walks of life, all the way from one of my favorites. I saw him do a director walk in Nashville, and he had all these dreads hanging down and cut off T-shirt, flip flop, looked like a homeless dude. And he's a freaking director. I love that. All the way to the people wearing the nice pantsuits with the 4-inch heels that look so intimidating. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't ever have to talk to this person. But since he has all walks of life, right? I hope I don't ever wear heels in a pantsuit too. So, and he also said, so they want you to conform to a certain identity. He said, and then a lot of the ways that they are structured as far as pay and promotions, ranking, and titles is that if you get in and you like start real hot and heavy, you go straight up, okay? And what they saw out of that long term is a lot of the people that went straight up in those companies 6 months to a year later weren't even a part of that organization anymore. So basically the company was able to utilize those people being excited about being with the new company, sold a, some of these companies have like a $4,000 club. It's like your goal to be in the $4,000 a month club. Okay. So when they looked at setting up Cincy, they saw that and they didn't like it because it wasn't sustainable for the person. Good for the company, not good for the customer or good for the consultant. So they set up, if you're looking at this napkin, if you can kind of turn your head, you'll see where it says skill. Okay, that is your essential consultant and your certified consultant and your lead consultant and your star consultant. And that is a time frame for you to come on board with the company, learn the product, oh sweet, that's a lot easier to look at. Learn the business. Okay, so that is the skill phase, and that's level 1. Okay, and then, by the way, he said it's like 20 to 25%. I don't know. I don't remember what that was for. What was that? Pay?
No, it was 20 to 25% of the company is right here. And they're still before director.
Okay. So, anyways, if you're in that tier, in that level, embrace that. Learn all that you can learn. Don't find yourself like me, not getting involved with Cincy until your wife makes director, because that's a bad spot to be, because I got a lot of catching up to do.
Amen.
Build your skills, learn your workstation, learn your products, learn your customers, learn how to party, learn how to event, learn how to do these things and make money, okay? And then you hit the second level, per se, and that's contribution. Okay, this is typically your superstar consultants and your directors, right in that area. This is where you have honed your skills, you've experienced some success, but now you've got to start contributing to people. You've got to start investing in people. And the people that I'm talking about is your team. And if you see the lines that are going here, there's an increase in skill, and then it kind of plateaus off. Okay. So you sit here for a little while because you've got to invest in your team. You've got to build relationships. You've got to teach. You've got to give more than you take, which is one of the values of Cincy, is to always, yeah, it's generosity. It's giving back. So in order, if you see that last stage, I call that level 3, it says influence. And you see how quick you go up to the top. Okay. So you've learned your product, you've learned your business in skills. You spend your time contributing, investing in others, building those relationships, helping your team members grow, helping them be successful. And then once you hit a certain point, you're going to gain influence. Okay. And just for an example of influence, I want to use Cassie. You know, Cassie has a great influence. She has a 400 plus member team group. I'm sorry. We look to her for her leadership. We look to her for her knowledge. Me and Amanda are always asking her, how did you do this? Or what do you suggest we do here? Yeah, where were you at when you accomplished this? And then there's some of the names that we see a lot of, the Dalkeys. Who are some of the other ones? Farner, Gratz, the Bates, Lindsay Bates. These are all folks who have hit that level of influence, and as they've moved up. Okay, so if you look at this and you understand, I'm trying to break it down and explain it the way that Orville did to me. If you grasp this concept that Cincy used to build the way that the consultants and the titles and everything go, this will help you a lot with your planning. Okay, it'll help you from getting discouraged, because I'm going to tell you, I'm an action guy. I look at what I want, I develop a plan, and I go for it. All right, but Cincy's a little bit different, where I could succeed very, very quickly in some of the other businesses, but be unsustainable. With Cincy, I now know that I'm going to sit where I'm at as I contribute, invest, and, you know, just help my team grow. By the way, that's not an area where I just focus on investing in my team members or contributing to my team members. I have to continue to work my business to, at a minimum, sell 500 PRV. I have to continue to recruit, because those of you that are already leaders in this, you already know there's attrition in this. Life happens. You know, somebody might be going great for 2.5 years, and then the next thing you know, they've got a check mark next to their name, and they're going to be out if they don't put in a minimum order. So yeah, me and Amanda were there multiple times. So you've got to realize that you have to keep recruiting. That is the key to Cincy. If you want to make star consultant, if you want to make superstar consultant, if you want to make director, star director, superstar director, you have to build your team. If you don't do that, you might find yourself in danger of having an unsustainable business. And like I said, if you're one of those people that are just going for the PRV, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I will tell you though, Jason, what's his name? Harwood. If you guys know who that is, he's an amazing guy. I hope every one of you get to meet him. He told us something that blew my mind. 10% of the top earners of Cincy only 3% of their paychecks are off of personal PRV, personal sales. Only 3%. Are y'all getting that? 3% of their monthly paychecks are off of personal sales.
So those people that are making $10,000 paychecks, only 3% of that $10,000 paycheck is from their personal sales.
So, hey, there's money in this business. I know y'all have heard people say that. Yeah, please. I'd like to get back to looking at people.
I just wanted to show y'all a picture of this meeting. It was awesome.
Hey, let me tell you something else. I have been part of very large international companies before. I've had the name director next to my name when I worked for them. I have never met owners of a multi-million-dollar international company that are so nice, so humble, so willing to go out of their way above and beyond to share information with you, to break bread with you. I mean, hey, Orville's sitting there with us at that table, and he has a guy whose job is to keep him on task. You know, all right, Orville, it's this time. We need you to go to this meeting. You got a phone call at this time. And he's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm talking to these guys. And that's just freaking phenomenal. That's the company we work for. Walking around Cincy office, the distribution centers, the packing areas where they make the wax and all the we got to see the Laundry Love. If you like Laundry Love, we got to see that. That was freaking pretty cool. But when you see people who thoroughly enjoy their jobs, they're not just there punching a clock. They're not just there so they can pay their rent. They actually love to be there because Cincy is that amazing. I hope each and every one of you guys get to experience that one day and actually talk to the people. Me and Amanda, we just kept asking them, hey, do they take care of you guys? Because we work our tails off to sell our products. Do they take care of you? And every single one of them said yes. And so I was like, okay, obviously they've been trained to say yes. So I asked one lady, I said, what's your favorite thing about working for Cincy? And she gave me two. They get off a week and a half of Christmas every year. They don't get charged vacation. They don't get charged sick time. Because of the way we work and how busy the fall is, they work their rear ends off. And as a reward, they get that week and a half of Christmas off. And the second thing she told me that she really enjoys about the company is every employee on their birthday gets $55 of free product. Anybody get anything free where they work? No. So it's an amazing company, and you really get to see that and feel that as you walk around the home office. That's all I have for you guys tonight.
Cassie has always told us, or told me, if you want to be a director, you need to start acting like one now. So, and she did that, and that's why she is where she is, because she's always acted like a director. I mean, I'm her first recruit, and I mean, from day one, she took the lead and she acted like a director. And I didn't even know her sponsor or her superstar director, our superstar director, before that, because she was a great leader.
She's working right now, boy.
She acted like a director from day one when she decided that this was what she was going to do.
Hey, and I think it's also important for all of you to know, we have been probably not the best Cincy consultants for Cassie, but she has never one single time been negative to us, derogative to us. She has never spoken down to us in any sort of way. Over 4 years, not getting paid at title, all these kind of things, she has always been positive and had nothing but encouragement for us. That's a director for you to watch. That's a superstar director for you to watch. Watch what she does and do what she does. That's another great thing I love about Cincy. Look, we're not having to sit here and try to figure out how to be successful in this business. There are so many people that have blazed that trail for all of us. All we have to do is do what they did. Learn what they did, find what works for us, and do it.
Is Sabrina still on here? I see you hiding in the dark.
My husband turned the light off on me.
Okay. Hey, I was just going to ask you if you would explain the wholesale versus like the wholesale part, because I think that's a great question for everyone who might not understand.
Oh, okay, sure. So basically, wholesale is 75% of retail. And if you want to figure out how much, like if, say, your lead and you know that you need 1,000 group wholesale volume to hit your numbers, and you want to know what that equates to PRV, you take the number, for instance, 1,000 divided by 0.75, and that's going to give you 1,333 PRV. So, and if you're left with, 200 wholesale volume left to get, you need to convert that to PRV so that between you and your team, you're going to need that much PRV. And you just take whatever number it is, divide by 0.75, and that's going to give you the PRV that you need. And you can do the same thing backwards. Just do it times 0.75 if you want to find the wholesale portion of a retail portion.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Before we move on to the next question, I want to also, I just want to share an experience I had with my team last month. And also a benefit to having a healthy team. We had 2 people that put in 195 PRV apiece. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, $5 more and they're active, $5 more and they're active. So we reached out to one of them, who was one of our front lines? Yeah, one of our front lines and one in our downline. And so I reached out to their sponsor and said, hey, you've got this person. They're $5 from being active. Can you reach out to them? Yeah, that was like at the 20th of the month, 25th of the month. We were rolling up about a week out or so. We had already made our goals for the month, but I just wanted them to be aware you're $5 away from being active. And, you know, the month ended and they were both at 195. Now, had I been $10 short on my GWV of making my goal at the end of the month, I probably would have been upset. But because I have a healthy team and we all share the load, I was like, well, you know what? I appreciate the hell out of the 195 PRV they put in. And excuse my language, I appreciate those people so much for that, because that 195 still added into my 10,000 GWV. When you have a healthy team, you can be grateful for that. Even though they didn't go active, you can still be grateful. And by the way, they still got a paycheck. So, you know, it works out. That's the difference between building your team to be able to sustain your business and not having the team to sustain your business. $5 would throw some people into a freaking rage. Don't let that be you. Our next question.
Stephen asked, how do you build a team without overwhelming people to join you?
Hey, great question, Stephen. Did y'all hear that? How do you build a team without overwhelming people to join you? Whew. Man, that's a call on its own. All I can do is share with you what I do. Okay, I take advantage of every opportunity that I have to share Cincy with somebody. For example, I told you I pulled up at my kid's school today. There was a lady sitting in her Tahoe. I have met her before because our kids are in a class together. I don't know her, but I saw the tree hanging in her card, and I just walked over with a catalog and a card and said, hey, just so you know. Yeah, just so you know, I sell this stuff and it's much higher quality. And I said, how much money do you spend a year making your car smell good? And she was like, oh Lord, I don't know. She's like, I just bought a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, I'm thinking about going over to Walmart and get some stuff for my house. And I was like, whoa. And so I used that to segue into presenting to her, why don't you buy it from yourself? Okay, that was one way I went in. Yesterday, I presented Cincy to 3 people. We are the first one. So I'm trying to quit smoking, right? So instead of just toughing it up and just quitting cold turkey, I decided that I would go to a local vapor shop and get a little e-cig thing. All right, so I go in there and I'm talking to the guy and he's giving me all these sales pitches on these big old freaking torches that you could beat somebody's head in with, and these little ones. And I mean, y'all seen them, right? One's got like, you look like a steam engine blowing so much stuff out, right? So he's showing me all this stuff, and I just happened to notice there was a Cincy product there. I got to be careful. So there was a Cincy product there. And so I recognized real quick that, hey, this environment could be ripe for Cincy Goes, because while we were there was men shuttling in and out that door nonstop. Every one of those men drove a vehicle up to that shop and then walked in. A lot of people that are into the vaping love the smell of the vapor, okay? So I recognized really quickly, hey, this could be an opportunity for sales, or possibly if I can get this guy to see the money, for him to sign up and sell. So I showed him the Cincy Go. We had it out in the car. I brought it in. I had clothesline in it, or Amanda had clothesline in it. And I was like, okay, we froze up for a minute. I said, what do you think of this smell? And he's like, oh, that's great. What is that? And I said, it's a Cincy Go. And he was like, oh, man, that's freaking awesome. I'm going to have to get me one of those. And then another guy that was working there was like, oh, man, what's that? You know, and it was kind of dark in there, so the light glowed a little bit. And next thing I know, I got two people being like, man, I want Cincy Goes. And I said, look, dude, you know you can sign up to sell this and put $15 in your pocket every time you sell one? And he's like, what? I mean, dude's making $9 an hour selling vapor stuff to people like me. You know, he can sell a Go and put $15 in his pocket. I made it worth him listening to. And then I started talking to him about the diffusers and the oils, and he already knew about diffusers and oils because I guess vapor people like diffusers and oils. And I was like, dude, every time you sell a diffuser and some oils, you're going to put $32 in your pocket. That man works over 3 hours a day to make $32. So I presented it to him like that. There was a girl in the vapor shop. There was actually two. One was stoned out of her mind, so I didn't even waste my time on that one. But there was another one, and she was interested in it. So I let her see it. I gave her a card, and I said, what do you do for a living? She said, I work at a daycare. And I was like, stinky kids and french fries. And she started laughing. Well, stinky kids and french fries, that's what I think of a car with kids in it, right? Because you got those car seats and the french fries get all down, and then it heats up. And you know what all y'all know what I'm talking about, right? All right, Soccer Mama needs a Go. Every time you sell Soccer Mama a Go, you put $15 in your pocket. So that's how I presented it to her. The third presentation I did yesterday was kind of off the wall. I finally got home. I sat down, sucking on my little vapor thing, and it looks like an iPod. I didn't go with the big old thing that I could beat somebody with. But anyways, I happened to flip onto Facebook, and I see that this lady won $500 on a lottery ticket. And she put a picture of the lottery ticket and said, I won $500. No, it wasn't. No, it was John Freeman's wife. Anyway, she's like, I won $20 on $500 on a $20 ticket. And everybody was commenting like, oh, that's freaking awesome. And I was like, hey, you should join Cincy and we can all be winners. Okay. And that was it. Will that ever turn into something? I don't know. But maybe she's sitting there with $500 in her pocket and remembering that $184 worth of Cincy she bought from us last month, saying, you know what? I could probably do that. And she sells furniture for a living, so selling's not a big deal for her. So there's so many different ways, Stephen, that you can present the opportunity. I look for it.
You also live it.
Yeah. Look, hey, I'm that kind of guy, though, that my goal is to get to our main goal, and that is making enough money for my wife to replace her income. All right. So I am going to leave the house every single day with that in mind, because Amanda calls it being intentional. I'm intentional. I told Cassie this morning my goal was 2 people to join a month. Now it's 3. This morning I made it 3. I'm going to get 3 people to join because I have a goal in mind. And the quicker I get to that goal, I know what I got to do. I know what my sweet numbers are. So I've got to getting those sweet numbers if I'm going to reach my goal. All right. I hope that helps.
This wasn't a question.
Yeah. Paid at title versus paid at rank. So to get paid at title, you have to do all those things that I read for each of the titles. Cassie, you want to take over that? Getting paid at title versus paid at rank.
Yes, sorry. I just realized I had a Facebook party 10 minutes ago I forgot about. So see, we all mess up. Anyways, yeah, paid at title versus paid at rank. When you guys see us posting about paid at title in whatever group you're in, we're celebrating it because it's a big deal. And I'll just briefly, you may have heard me say before, when I was in New York a year ago, they had all the directors, star directors, and superstar directors who had been paid at title for all 12 months of the year come up to the stage. And I thought, well, that's weird because there were like 700 of us there. I was a director, and I went up because I'd been paid at title all 12 months. And I was shocked. There were literally only like 175 of us up there out of 700 people. And it was at that moment I realized how important that paid at title is, because I had not realized it was even an issue, because I've always been paid at title, and I had just always done it. And so I realized then, so when I came home, it changed. I started really focusing on that. So paid at title is when you promote, and your director may even talk to you. Aubrey's not on here, but she promoted to superstar consultant last month. And before she promoted, I was like, for a week, I'm like, okay, you need to make sure if you do this, you can be paid at title again next month and next month and next month. Because I see so many people promote to star and superstar consultant, but then they can't maintain that 6,000 TWV, your team together, and they don't get paid a title anymore. I have a girl on my team who got promoted to superstar consultant 4 years ago, probably like 3.5 years ago, and she only hit it that 1 month. So that means like she doesn't get all those extra bonuses. So if you're in this to build a business, like Daniel has talked about, a thriving long business, you want to focus on being paid a title. And that was really good that he gave you the average amount of people you have to get. And like he and I talked this morning, sometimes like you can hit a title and maintain it without that average. Like he talked about, it just depends on how your people are working. The other thing really briefly is you need to make sure that you're not solely depending on your team to get you paid at title. My whole first year of being a director, I had to pull 2,000 or more every single month. That way as a group, we hit 10,000. And I had a decent sized team. I think I promoted with like 31 maybe. And, but my team did great, but I had to pull my part plus more. So now where I'm at now, I have to, but as a group, we have to pull actually 80,000, which is a lot. Every single month. And we have a great team. We do. So it's a great thing, because we have people, we have the hobbyists, we have the people building businesses. But the whole point is knowing where you have to go, what you have to do to get where you want, but focusing on making sure that you didn't just get it that 1 month. Because sometimes people will pull a $3,000 month on a whim. It's awesome, except they can't maintain $3,000 every single month. Like, that's a lot of work. So, I mean, Sabrina could tell you that in the fall, like I am just beyond belief that my children are still awake at 10:15 at night. I'm about to lose my religion on here. But she was hustling her heart out in the fall. I mean, her team was fine, but she just had so many people that wanted parties in the fall that she was beside herself. Like, she's like, I don't know how much more I can carry on. But she was pulling those $3,000 to $5,000 months, So that's what the fall does for you. One more thing, and then I'll give it back to you. What you do today is setting you up for the next 6 months. So think about that. In 6 months, we're in the fall. And if you have not experienced a fall yet, it's great. I remember last year I had people say, well, Cassie, I thought you said the fall was great. And I'm over here like, well, it is. I don't understand. And if you look at your fall right now it's great too. But if you look at the fall, like, I traveled a whole month in the fall. I didn't have a single party, but everyone was just coming to me. Do you hear this little girl? I don't even know what I was saying. I'm giving it back to you, Daniel.
Hey, anybody else got any other questions? Anybody? Yeah, and hey, I'm so sorry we went so long. That was a lot of stuff to discuss. So, Christine, Cheryl, Grace, Shay, Stephen, Linda, anybody? Nobody? Did this help anybody? Was this helpful?
We got nods.
Okay, good.
Yay.
You can say no. I mean, it won't hurt my feelings, but I promise. Hey, my hope is I really, when I tell you guys, I want to see every single one of you become directors. I'm not lying. There's freedom in this business. And we are struggling. I don't want to say we're struggling, but we are fighting to experience that freedom. And it's something that I want to share with everybody. That's all I got.
Thanks, Sabrina. Okay.
Thank you, Daniel and Amanda. That was great. We really appreciate it.
You know.
Oh, Michael, no, I'm about to lose it right here. All right, bye, y'all.